Welcome back, Rare Coin Insider. Imagine reaching into your pocket at the end of a long day, pulling out a single dime, and tossing it onto your desk without giving it a second thought. It is small, silver-colored, and looks just like countless other coins that have passed through your hands over the years. Most people would never stop to examine it. They would spend it without hesitation because, after all, it is worth only 10 cents. But what if that tiny coin had a story stretching back decades? What if it represented American history, remarkable craftsmanship, and the fascinating world of coin collecting where ordinary-looking coins sometimes become extraordinary treasures? That is exactly why collectors spend thousands of hours studying Roosevelt dimes, searching through bank rolls, pocket change, estate collections, and old coin jars hoping to discover a hidden rarity. Today we are taking a deep dive into one of the most interesting modern coins in circulation, the 2003 Roosevelt dime. By the end of this journey, you will understand why collectors continue searching for this coin, what makes certain examples valuable, how to identify important varieties, and why condition can transform an ordinary 10-cent piece into something far more desirable. The Roosevelt dime has one of the richest histories in modern American coinage. Although millions of these coins are produced every year, every single one represents a continuation of a tradition that began more than 70 years ago. When you hold a 2003 dime in your hand, you are not simply holding 10 cents. You are holding a small piece of American history that connects generations of citizens, collectors, and historians. Coins travel from city to city, state to state, and sometimes across the world. They pass through thousands of hands during their lifetime, silently witnessing everyday commerce while preserving the artwork and symbols chosen to represent the United States. The year 2003 was an interesting period in American history. The country was entering a new century, technology was advancing rapidly, and the United States meant continued producing billions of circulating coins to meet the demands of commerce. Despite the rise of electronic payments, cash remained an essential part of daily life, and dimes were among the most frequently used denominations. Millions of Americans handled Roosevelt dimes every single day without realizing that collectors carefully examined these same coins under magnification, searching for tiny details invisible to the average person. The Philadelphia Mint, identified by the letter P on modern Roosevelt dimes, produced an enormous number of these coins during 2003. Every one of them began its journey as a blank metal disc called a planchet. Before becoming a finished coin, each planchet underwent several manufacturing steps designed to ensure consistent quality. The metal strips were rolled to the correct thickness, blank discs were punched out, their edges were raised to create rims, and finally the designs were struck under tremendous pressure by hardened steel dies. The force involved in striking coins is extraordinary. Massive presses apply many tons of pressure in fractions of a second, permanently transferring every detail of the design into the surface of the metal. The composition of the 2003 Roosevelt dime follows the same specifications used for decades in modern American dimes. Unlike the older silver dimes minted before 1965, the 2003 is made from a clad composition consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. This combination gives the coin its familiar silver appearance while keeping production costs reasonable. If you closely examine the edge of the coin, you can actually see the thin copper layer running through the middle. That reddish stripe instantly distinguishes modern clad dimes from earlier silver examples, which display a solid silver-colored edge. One of the most important specifications every collector memorizes is the weight. The official weight of the 2003 Roosevelt dime is 2.268 grams. This precise measurement plays an important role in authentication because significant deviations from the standard weight may indicate damage, mint errors, or in rare situations, counterfeit examples. Professional numismatists routinely use highly accurate digital scales capable of measuring hundredths or even thousandths of a gram. Even slight differences can provide valuable clues about a coin's history. The diameter of the dime measures approximately 17.91 millimeters, making it one of the smallest circulating coins in the United States. Despite its small size, every millimeter of the coin's surface contains carefully designed artwork and inscriptions that reflect American ideals. Collectors often marvel at how much detail can be incorporated into such a tiny piece of metal. Under magnification, features invisible to the naked eye suddenly become clear, revealing the incredible craftsmanship involved in coin production. The obverse, or front side, of the 2003 dime features the portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt served as the 32nd President of the United States and guided the nation through some of the most challenging periods in its history, including the Great Depression and the Second World War. Following his death in 1945, the nation sought an appropriate way to honor his legacy. Because Roosevelt had been closely associated with the March of Dimes campaign, which fought against polio, placing his portrait on the dime became a meaningful tribute. The design first appeared in 1946 and has remained a familiar part of American coinage ever since. Looking closely at Roosevelt's portrait reveals impressive artistic detail. The sculptor carefully captured the president's profile, including his distinctive hairstyle, facial features, and dignified expression. Every strand of hair, every contour of the face, and every subtle curve was engraved into the master dies with remarkable precision. Although these details may appear simple at first glance, experienced collectors know that sharpness varies depending on strike quality. Coins struck from fresh dies often display stronger detail than those produced after extensive die wear. Surrounding Roosevelt's portrait are several important inscriptions. The word Liberty stretches along the left side of the coin, representing one of America's most cherished principles. The national motto, "In God We Trust," appears near the lower left portion of the portrait. The date 2003 is positioned to the right, while just above the date sits the small but extremely important mint mark P, indicating that this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. For collectors, this tiny letter instantly identifies the coin's place of origin and distinguishes it from examples produced at the Denver Mint bearing the letter D. The reverse side carries equally significant symbolism. Dominating the center is a torch representing liberty and enlightenment. To one side stands an olive branch symbolizing peace. On the opposite side appears an oak branch representing strength, independence, and endurance. Together, these three elements communicate ideals that have long been associated with the United States. Encircling these central designs are the inscriptions United States of America, one dime, and Et pluribus unum, the Latin phrase meaning, out of many, one. Although millions of people encounter these symbols every day, relatively few pause to appreciate their deeper meanings. Coin designers carefully selected every element to represent values that extend beyond monetary exchange. The torch reminds citizens of freedom and knowledge. The olive branch reflects the nation's desire for peace. The oak branch symbolizes resilience and courage during difficult times. Even on a coin worth only 10 cents, these artistic choices communicate a powerful national identity. For most Americans in 2003, receiving a Roosevelt dime and change was an ordinary experience. Yet at the same time, collectors were already saving uncirculated examples directly from mint rolls. They understood something many people overlook. Today's ordinary circulation coin can become tomorrow's collectible, especially when preserved in pristine condition. Time gradually reduces the supply of flawless examples because coins become scratched, worn, damaged, cleaned, or lost. As decades pass, untouched mint state coins often become increasingly desirable among collectors seeking the finest known specimens. Condition is one of the single most important factors determining a coin's value. Two 2003p dimes may have been struck on the same day using the same dies, yet one might still be worth only face value, while the other could command a substantial premium if preserved in exceptional mint state condition with outstanding eye appeal. Professional grading services evaluate coins using the internationally recognized Sheldon grading scale, which ranges from poor 1 all the way to mint state 70. Achieving the highest grades requires virtually flawless preservation, brilliant luster, minimal contact marks, and exceptional strike quality. Collectors also pay close attention to luster, the shimmering effect created when freshly struck metal reflects light. Original mint luster often appears as a rotating cartwheel pattern when the coin is tilted beneath a light source. This beautiful effect gradually disappears as coins circulate and experience wear. Preserving original luster is one reason why unopened mint rolls and carefully stored collections can become valuable decades later. Another fascinating aspect of coin collecting involves mint errors. During the manufacturing process, despite sophisticated quality control systems, occasional mistakes occur. These errors may include off-center strikes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, die chips, double dies, missing clad layers, wrong planchets, and dramatic strike-through errors. Genuine mint errors are highly sought after because they represent unusual events during production rather than post-mint damage. Some spectacular error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on rarity and visual appeal. For the 2003p Roosevelt dime, collectors continue examining coins for unusual die varieties and production anomalies. While most examples are completely normal, the excitement comes from knowing that rare discoveries remain possible. Every unopened bankroll holds potential. Every forgotten coin jar may conceal an overlooked treasure. This sense of possibility is one of the reasons coin collecting continues attracting new enthusiasts every year. As our exploration continues, we will dive even deeper into the fascinating production process of the 2003p Roosevelt dime, uncover how professional graders determine value, examine the rare errors that collectors dream of finding, discuss real-world auction prices for exceptional examples, and reveal the characteristics that separate an ordinary 10-cent coin from one that can command impressive premiums in today's collector market. One of the most exciting aspects of collecting modern Roosevelt dimes is understanding that rarity is not always determined by the number originally minted. Millions upon millions of coins can leave the United States Mint in a single year, yet only a tiny fraction survive in truly exceptional condition. This is where the collecting journey becomes fascinating. While the average person sees only a 10-cent coin, experienced numismatists see strike quality, surface preservation, luster, eye appeal, die condition, and countless other characteristics that separate an ordinary example from a premium collectible. When a 2003p Roosevelt dime was first struck at the Philadelphia Mint, it emerged from the coining press with brilliant mint luster covering every part of its surface. Under bright light, the freshly struck metal displayed a beautiful cartwheel effect as light rotated across the coin. This natural brilliance is one of the first features professional graders examine because original luster is often the best indication that a coin has remained uncirculated. Once a coin enters circulation, it immediately begins collecting tiny scratches and contact marks from other coins, cash registers, vending machines, pockets, and coin counting equipment. Even though these marks may be almost invisible to the naked eye, they become obvious under magnification. The journey of a single dime can be remarkable. One coin might leave the mint inside a Federal Reserve shipment, travel across several states, pass through hundreds or even thousands of transactions, and eventually end up forgotten inside a drawer for years. Another coin from the exact same production batch might be saved immediately by a collector, protected inside a coin holder, and remain virtually untouched for decades. Although both coins started life together, their stories become completely different, and so does their value. Professional grading companies evaluate coins according to extremely strict standards. Every tiny detail matters. They examine the sharpness of Roosevelt's hair, the definition of the ear, the lettering, the date, the mint mark, the torch on the reverse, the olive branch, the oak branch, and every part of the coin's surface. They also inspect the coin under specialized lighting to identify hairline scratches, cleaning marks, environmental damage, and other imperfections that may reduce the grade. A mint state grade represents a coin that has never entered circulation. Within mint state, however, there are many different levels. A coin graded MS-60 may technically be uncirculated but have numerous contact marks and poor eye appeal. An MS-63 example generally shows better preservation with fewer distracting marks. At MS-65, the quality improves significantly, displaying stronger luster and fewer imperfections. MS-67 examples become considerably scarcer, while MS-68 and above are extremely difficult to find for many modern issues. Each single point on the grading scale can dramatically influence a coin's desirability among collectors. For the 2003 P. Roosevelt dime, many circulated examples remain worth only their face value of 10 cents because they are still readily available. However, uncirculated specimens with outstanding preservation often command premiums over face value. Certified coins receiving exceptionally high mint state grades from respected grading services are especially attractive to collectors building registry sets, where every grade point matters. Another factor influencing value is strike quality. Even though every coin is struck using enormous pressure, not every strike is identical. Fresh dies produce sharper details than worn dies. Proper striking pressure ensures that every design element is fully impressed into the metal. Occasionally, coins emerge with slightly softer details because of die wear or insufficient striking pressure. Collectors appreciate examples showing crisp lettering, well-defined torch lines, and strong detail throughout the design. The Philadelphia Mint has a long and distinguished history dating back to the 18th century. It was the first official mint established by the United States government and has produced billions upon billions of coins over its remarkable history. By 2003, coin production relied upon advanced manufacturing technology capable of producing thousands of coins every minute. Despite sophisticated automation, skilled technicians constantly monitored operations to ensure quality standards remained exceptionally high. Each working die used during production experiences gradual wear. Imagine pressing a steel stamp against metal hundreds of thousands of times. Eventually, even hardened steel begins losing some of its sharpness. As dies wear, tiny imperfections may develop. Die cracks can appear, small chips may break away, and polishing performed by mint employees can alter certain design details. These changes create interesting die varieties that collectors actively seek because they tell the story of the coin's production process. Among the most fascinating discoveries are doubled dies. Contrary to what many beginners believe, these are not coins struck twice. Instead, doubling occurs during die manufacturing, creating duplicated design elements that appear on every coin struck from that particular die. Depending on the severity, doubling may be visible on letters, numbers, Roosevelt's profile, or other design features. Genuine doubled die varieties often become highly collectible because they represent distinct varieties rather than random damage. Die chips provide another interesting collecting opportunity. Small pieces of the die may break away, leaving raised lumps of metal on the finished coins. While many die chips are minor and add little value, unusual or dramatic examples can attract collector interest, particularly when they create distinctive appearances. Die cracks develop after repeated use and appear as raised lines on the finished coin. These cracks gradually expand as the die continues producing coins. Some collectors specialize in studying die states, documenting how individual dies change throughout their production lives. To them, every crack and every chip provides valuable information about the manufacturing process. Another category of collectible errors involves planchet mistakes. Before striking begins, blank planchets pass through multiple production stages. Occasionally, something unusual happens before the strike. A clipped planchet results when the blank overlaps a previously punched hole, leaving part of the coin missing. Lamination errors occur when impurities or defects within the metal cause portions of the surface to peel away. Wrong planchet errors happen when a die design is accidentally struck onto a blank intended for another denomination. These unusual mistakes are considerably scarcer than normal coins and often generate significant collector excitement. Off-center strikes represent another visually dramatic error. Instead of being perfectly centered between the dies, the blank shifts during striking, leaving part of the design missing, while a blank crescent remains visible. The amount of displacement greatly affects desirability. Minor off-center strikes are relatively common compared to dramatic examples showing 50% or more displacement, while still displaying the complete date and mint mark. Broad strikes occur when the retaining collar fails to surround the coin during striking. Without the collar containing the expanding metal, the finished coin spreads outward, becoming wider than normal while lacking its standard raised rim. Such errors are immediately recognizable and often become conversation pieces within collections. Collectors also examine Roosevelt dimes for strike-through errors. During production, foreign materials such as grease, cloth fibers, or small debris may become trapped between the die and the planchet. When the coin is struck, the object prevents part of the design from transferring properly. Once the material falls away, it leaves behind an unusual impression on the coin's surface. Every strike-through error is unique, because no two pieces of debris create exactly the same appearance. Although modern minting technology has greatly reduced manufacturing mistakes, perfection remains impossible when billions of coins are produced. That reality keeps collectors searching through circulation every single day. Roll hunters visit banks, obtain boxes containing thousands of dimes, and carefully inspect each one under magnification. Most searches produce only ordinary coins, but every experienced collector understands that persistence occasionally leads to remarkable discoveries. One important lesson every collector eventually learns is never to clean coins. Many people mistakenly believe polishing a coin increases its value because it makes the surface shine. In reality, cleaning almost always reduces collector value. Abrasive polishing leaves microscopic scratches that experts immediately recognize. Chemical cleaning may alter the natural color and destroy original surfaces. Professional collectors strongly prefer coins retaining their original appearance, even if they have toned naturally over time. Storage also plays a critical role in preserving condition. Humidity, temperature fluctuations, fingerprints, and improper handling can all damage a coin surface. Experienced collectors handle coins only by their edges and store valuable specimens inside inert holders designed specifically for long-term preservation. Fingerprints contain oils and acids capable of permanently affecting the metal if left untreated. One reason modern Roosevelt dimes remain popular among beginning collectors is affordability. Most dates can still be found in circulation, allowing newcomers to build collections without spending large sums of money. As knowledge grows, many collectors transition from assembling simple date and mint sets to pursuing high-grade certified examples, fascinating mint errors, or specialized die varieties. The 2003 P. Roosevelt dime perfectly illustrates why modern coin collecting continues to thrive. On the surface, it appears to be nothing more than ordinary pocket change. Yet beneath that simple appearance lies an intricate story involving advanced manufacturing technology, historical symbolism, precision engineering, artistic design, and the constant pursuit of perfection. Every surviving example carries its own unique history, from the moment molten metal became a planchet to the instant it reached circulation or entered a carefully preserved collection. As more years pass, fewer pristine examples remain untouched. Coins continue being lost, damaged, spent, cleaned, or melted along with damage-clad material. Meanwhile, dedicated collectors continue searching for the finest surviving examples, hoping to discover overlooked varieties or spectacular mint errors that transform an ordinary-looking Roosevelt dime into one of the standout pieces of an impressive collection. The deeper you explore this remarkable series, the more you realize that even America's smallest circulating coin can reveal an extraordinary world of history, craftsmanship, rarity, and collector passion. As the years continue to pass, the story of the 2003 Roosevelt dime becomes even more interesting. Every single day, more of these coins disappear from circulation forever. Some are lost beneath floorboards, buried in old jars, forgotten inside furniture, dropped into rivers, or simply worn beyond recognition after years of heavy use. Others are carefully preserved by collectors, who recognize that today's common coin could become tomorrow's desirable collectible. This constant change in the surviving population is one of the reasons coin collecting remains such a fascinating hobby. The number originally minted is only part of the story. The number that survives in exceptional condition decades later is what truly matters to serious collectors. Many beginners believe that every old coin must automatically be valuable, but experienced numismatists know that age alone does not determine price. A coin's condition, rarity, demand, eye appeal, originality, certification, and the presence of mint errors or unusual varieties all play important roles. The 2003 Roosevelt dime serves as a perfect example. Millions were produced, making circulated examples common, yet the very finest certified mint state specimens and genuine mint error coins can command significantly higher premiums because far fewer survive in that condition. Imagine opening an old family coin collection that has remained untouched for 20 years. Inside, you find several rolls of brilliant 2003 Roosevelt dimes still displaying their original mint luster. The excitement begins immediately because untouched coins often have a much better chance of receiving high grades than pieces that spent years circulating in everyday commerce. This is exactly why collectors enjoy searching estate sales, inherited collections, old piggy banks, and forgotten storage boxes. Sometimes the greatest discoveries are hiding in places that have not been examined for decades. Technology has transformed modern coin collecting. Years ago, collectors depended primarily on printed price guides, magazines, coin shows, and local dealers for information. Today, high-resolution photography, online auction archives, digital microscopes, and worldwide collector communities allow enthusiasts to compare coins with remarkable precision. A collector can examine tiny dime markers, identify varieties, research historical auction records, and communicate with experts around the globe within minutes. This accessibility has introduced an entirely new generation to the hobby. Auction records often create headlines because they demonstrate how dramatically quality influences value. While an ordinary circulated coin may be worth only its face value, extraordinary examples with exceptional preservation, unique mint errors, or top population grades can attract intense bidding from advanced collectors competing to own the very best-known examples. Registry-set competitions have further increased demand for elite-condition modern coins. Some collectors spend years upgrading their collections by searching for a single-point improvement in grade. Another fascinating aspect of the Roosevelt dime series is the role it plays in teaching new collectors the fundamentals of numismatics. Every coin offers an opportunity to study mint marks, composition, strike quality, grading, die varieties, and historical context. Even if a particular dime ultimately proves to be worth only 10 cents, the knowledge gained by examining it is invaluable. Experienced collectors often say that education is the greatest investment in the hobby, because learning to recognize quality leads to better collecting decisions. When examining a 2003 Roosevelt dime, always begin with proper lighting. A bright, indirect light source allows the original mint luster to become visible, while also revealing scratches, contact marks, and possible die varieties. Tilting the coin slowly beneath the light often exposes details that remain hidden when viewed straight on. A quality magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe with 5 to 10 times magnification can reveal features impossible to see with the naked eye. Next, inspect the mint mark carefully. The small letter P confirms that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Then examine the date, lettering, Roosevelt's portrait, and the reverse design. Look for unusual doubling, die cracks, missing design elements, off-center strikes, or anything that appears different from an ordinary example. Comparing multiple coins side by side often makes subtle differences much easier to identify. One of the greatest lessons in coin collecting is patience. Most successful collectors did not build impressive collections overnight. They spent years learning, searching, comparing, reading, and developing an eye for quality. Every roll search teaches something new. Every coin examined improves experience. Every mistake becomes a valuable lesson for the future. That continuous learning process is one of the reasons so many collectors remain passionate about the hobby throughout their lives. The Roosevelt dime also reminds us that coins are much more than money. They are historical artifacts that document the changing technology, economy, art, and values of the nation that produced them. Every design choice carries meaning. Every inscription tells part of America's story. Every mint mark identifies where the coin began its journey. Every scratch reflects a lifetime of circulation through countless hands and countless transactions. For younger collectors especially, searching pocket change can become an exciting treasure hunt. Unlike many hobbies requiring expensive equipment, coin collecting can begin with the change already sitting in your pocket. Every handful of coins represents an opportunity to discover something unusual. Perhaps it is a high-grade example. Perhaps it is an interesting die variety. Perhaps it is a dramatic mint error. The possibility of discovery keeps collectors motivated year after year. As the decades continue passing, the 2003 Roosevelt dime will gradually become a more historic issue. Future collectors may study these coins the same way modern collectors study Roosevelt dimes from the 1940s and 1950s. Time has a remarkable way of changing perspectives. Coins once considered ordinary eventually become historical reminders of an earlier generation. Before spending any coin that appears unusual, it is always worth taking a closer look. A few moments of careful inspection could reveal characteristics that distinguish it from millions of ordinary examples. If you believe you have discovered a genuine mint error or an exceptionally well-preserved specimen, consulting a reputable coin dealer or submitting the coin to a respected third-party grading service may help determine its authenticity and collector value. Above all, remember that coin collecting is not solely about money. The greatest reward often comes from the excitement of discovery, the satisfaction of learning something new, and the appreciation of history preserved in metal. Every Roosevelt dime tells a story that extends far beyond its 10-cent face value. And that brings us to the end of today's journey into the fascinating world of the 2003 Roosevelt dime. What appears to be an ordinary coin can reveal remarkable history, beautiful design, precision engineering, and the thrill of collecting. Whether your dime is worth only 10 cents or significantly more because of its exceptional condition or a genuine mint error, every coin deserves a closer look before it is spent. The next time you receive change at a store, don't rush to put those coins away. Take a moment to examine each one carefully. You never know what hidden detail might be waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 2003 P. Roosevelt dime, be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for more incredible coin stories, rare discoveries, valuable mint errors, historic American coins, and expert collecting tips. Every coin has a story, every collection has a beginning, and your next great discovery could already be sitting in your pocket, waiting for you to notice it. Happy collecting, and thanks for watching.